Now, that 18 season, Logan, obviously the infamous moment in that was the PC game. And I've talked to a lot of your former teammates about it. And that was sort of the moment where the season just shifted. You guys, I don't know if it was that next weekend or when it was, but you went out there and swept LSU. And it really turned the season around. Of course, you guys go through, win the regional, go to the supers and all that. But I mean, again, at that moment, that PC loss, things were not looking good, I guess, early on. Of course, you guys hear the fans bickering and chirping, and you see it on social media. And what do you feel like changed? I mean, obviously, I know Mark Kingston had a come to Jesus talk that we probably can't say here on these airwaves. But, I mean, what do you feel like overall changed as far as the mindset, mentality, or again, was it just as simple as, hey, we just got to freaking get our heads out of our asses and go do our job?
Honestly, I think that was a big, that's a part of it. We stopped taking everything light, or like teams like that lightly, and we just got after it after that. That was a big wake up call. I think that's something that we needed as a team. And after that, like from that point on, it was a different atmosphere. It was a different energy around the ballpark, and we literally that's all there is to it. I think the energy just changed. Kingston, we had to come to Jesus meeting with him, and we just changed our entire mindset, I believe.
Yeah, and I mentioned that LSU series, Logan. I want to jump to that one because, again, you had a hell of an outing in that one. 6 2/3, struck out 6, only allowed 2 hits, no runs, an 11-0 win over LSU. And I'd probably say, again, you could correct me if I'm wrong, probably your best outing as a Gamecock, at least to that point. I would probably say for the season. But what do you remember from that game specifically? Again, that was just, I feel like, maybe hopefully sort of similar to what this past weekend was for South Carolina baseball with a sweep over a top 5 team. I just felt like that weekend served as such a spark for that year. And obviously, again, led by your outing. What was clicking for you? What do you remember about that game and that weekend specifically?
It's funny that I honestly don't remember a lot about that weekend. I think it was just so I was so locked in that I couldn't tell you what pitch I threw to this hitter. I couldn't tell you who I was up there facing. But I do know that that was just a weekend where, we had that meeting, and I was like, I haven't been good enough. This hasn't been good enough. And I think I need to go out there as, the ultimate Friday guy. I need to go out there and I need to set the tone. And I went out there and had the best outing of my career. And we ended up, taking off at that point.
And, of course, like I said, you took off in that season and you go to East Carolina and take care of business in the regionals. And, again, I think it's well documented with the no dog pile. And you guys really expected to go in there and just take care of business. There were multiple heroes in that. I think of Danny Blair and then Sawyer Bridges, what he did. Again, a ton of guys, Madison Stokes. I've talked to all those guys about it. But going to Arkansas and you pitched there, just describe that, because, again, Baum is an insane atmosphere. They were obviously extremely, probably should have won the national championship if not for, a botched pop-up, if you will. But, you guys, if I remember correctly, I think the stat was you guys were the only team to beat them multiple times at home that year, because you guys went there and probably should have won 2 out of 3. I think you lost 2 out of 3 there. And then went back there and won game. What was it? Game 2, correct?
Yeah, we lost 2 out of 3 during the season.
Yeah,
and then lost the first game of the Super, and then won the second one.
Yeah. Because you had the LT Tolbert, I think, grand slam in that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, you pitched there obviously. But again, just talk about as a true freshman in that atmosphere, and it's just to a different level when it's super regionals, man. Obviously, the intensity, the energy in the air, and again, Arkansas, a really high quality club, but that whole experience, I guess, in the postseason and being a game away from Omaha. And of course, you don't get to the ultimate goal, which is Omaha, but you had nothing to hang your head about in that type of season, especially with the opponent you played. But you got to pitch there. I mean, just going through that entire experience, then getting on that stage. I mean, can you describe just what that roller coaster ride was like for you?
Dude, I'm getting kind of cold chills thinking about it now, but dude, that was honestly something I'll never forget. It was the greatest experience I've ever had, and I'm very grateful for to have that opportunity. And I think I came out of the pen that weekend in the Super, and it was just, I think that's the most nerves I've ever had, because I've never pitched in front of that many people. Yeah. Their fans were awesome though. But you can never match that energy. I think that's something that, if I'm fortunate to someday pitch in big leagues again, then I might experience. But man, that's something that you'll cherish for the rest of your life. You know, we got guys when we were actually walking down to the bullpen in the game I pitched in game 3. We were walking down the bullpen. You know, we had their fans were just chirping at us the whole entire time. This is something that I remember from that day that I'll never forget. And so there was an old guy up there that had a cutoff T-shirt and like big dude, and he was flexing at us and giving Ric Flair woo the whole entire time while we were walking down there. And that's something I'll never forget. You know, those guys were great.
No, for sure. I think it was Gilreath somebody told me. I think somebody threw like a Burger King breakfast burrito at Gilreath or something like that. He was saying like the most disrespectful thing a fan has done. I was going to say, like, do you remember anything specifically from the fans? I know we were talking about chirping a little bit off the air with the Carolina, Florida, but again, their fans are, you know, they kept showing the guy on TV with the hog hat on, I think, and was like pointing or whatever. I mean, they're wild.
They're crazy, but honestly, like in game, you know, that they were chirpy, you know, cheering for their guys, obviously, like their guys, but after the game, you know, before the game, like the hospitality they showed was amazing. Right. You know, they were competing just as much as you know, the guys in the other dugout were.